All right, it's Phil Carter, the Tool and Die Guy, and a rare appearance in the garage today because we're getting ready to put the final finish on the Gerstner box, and don't want to gas the house out. All right, so it's nice enough outside where we can get this done. No wind, should be good. So what I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about is the finish. Now in this particular box, if you've been watching the photos I've been posting, we've taken and done some repairs here. Okay, so I thought you'd want to see the products I did use, and here was the big problem here. I did not know this. We had some splitting of the veneer back here. Okay, and I didn't know if I was going to be able to fix it or not. It was kind of scary, and the good news is it's the back of the box, so I wasn't that worried about it cosmetically. I just really wanted to stop the bleeding here. Okay, so what I ended up doing, if you go to, I think it's Gerstner's YouTube channel, they kind of show you how to do this with, you just force glue under the veneer with a thin putty knife, all right? Then they put masking tape over it, and I'll show some pictures of that too. And then I'll clamp down a strip of wood over that and let it sit until the glue dries. And I was very nervous when I peeled that tape off that the veneer was gonna come right with it, and it didn't. Now this is a very interesting filler I used because some of the veneer was actually missing, all right? So what I decided to use was, they said it was stainable. I don't know about that. It was this high performance wood filler. It's actually a two-part epoxy, and it hardened up right away. It did a very good job. It didn't really take the stain that well, but I'm not that worried about it again because it is the back of the box, all right? There are also several spots down in here where the box had split a little bit, all right? So again, by taking my finger and forcing, a little more light there, by forcing the glue in there with my finger and clamping across the whole box, we got that fixed, all right? So this is the glue. I just happen to have some of this at the house, and it worked great, all right? I let everything sit for at least an hour before I clamped it, sometimes just overnight. Let's get the focus back here. There we go. So that's what I use, because I just happen to have some. So now, let's talk about the finish. Did a lot of research on this, and Gerstner apparently does some sort of a lacquer finish. They call it the hand rub lacquer. I'm not a lacquer expert, okay? I'll make that clear right away. Now, what I did do when I restored this box about 35 years ago, I'm pretty sure I sprayed lacquer on it. And I'll be perfectly honest with you, I'm not that great with a spray can, all right? I'm a little impatient, and the second problem is, it took 35 years, but a few years ago, I noticed my box was getting sticky. And when I wiped it, I took the finish right off. So the reality is this box probably isn't going to go into a machine shop environment again, but that experience made me a little skeptical of the lacquer, okay? So what I've decided to do was coat it with polyurethane, all right? And here's the deal. This already has one coat on it, and it's been sanded, and I put this satin on that I had to have at the house, all right? But I could already tell, even though it was the first coat, it was, the finish was very muted. Let's just put it that way. Not a lot of luster, I guess would be the right word. So I went down to Lowe's, and there's so many options, right? Shellac, you can brush on lacquer. But I've decided to go, there's a big difference in the finish, because I want this to kind of match what Gerstner does. We're gonna go with a clear semi-gloss finish. Same thing, polyurethane, should be indestructible once it's done. We're gonna do another coat of that, even though this has one coat that's been sanded. Probably 2 coats of this should finish it up. So what I'm going to show you in the next video is the secret to putting this on right and saving yourself a lot of heartache, all right? Back in the day, okay, before the internet, we used to put varnish on with the best brush you could buy. Well, then they came along with the foam brush, and everybody says, that's the best way, no brush marks. Yeah, but you get lots of bubbles, okay? So let me show you the secret to doing this. For me, at least, it works great. Puts a nice thin coat on, and it's easy to maintain, or how do I want to say it? It dries evenly. It's a very easy sanding process to scuff it in between coats. So the next part of this video, I'm going to apply it. So now we've got our Minwax polyurethane semi-gloss ready to go. We never shake the varnish. We, or whatever you want to call this, the polyurethane, we stir it. The reason we stir it, there's a lot of stuff on the bottom. This is a fairly new can, so wasn't much there, but that gets the stuff on the bottom. But the biggest thing is if you shake it, you can get bubbles, and bubbles are your enemy when you're finishing. Okay, so here's the secret. Okay, what we're gonna do is we're gonna wipe this on. Now they sell a wiping varnish, I think, also, but I didn't have any problem with the first time. So we're just gonna use a microfiber cloth. All right, and let's see what that looks like. And do not do the top of the box first. I painted myself in a corner with the first coat. So we'll start with the side. Let's start with the side. And it goes on beautifully, as you can see. No brush marks, nice thin coat, and no bubbles. All right? That's what we're talking about. You look like a pro. All right, you're gonna sacrifice your cloth, okay? You can get, this will be the second coat I'm using this one with, and I'll have to get a new one for the third coat because I'm not gonna have any spots left on it to use, all right? And this doesn't dry that fast, so I'm not gonna glue my box shut, all right? Relax. But I'm looking down this now because I got the sunshine here. No bubbles, no brush marks, nice thin, even coat. Very happy with that. So that's how you do it. My opinion, and again, I'm not a professional, but trial and error, use the microfiber cloth. Perfect coat, and couldn't be happier. So we'll see what it looks like when it's done. All right, so let's talk a little bit about finishing up some of the hardware that we removed from the box, all right? Now you can see these came out pretty nice, all right? And I don't know why the corner pieces came out so nice, but basically what I did with everything that was big enough and had that type of a finish on it was I didn't even hit it with a wire brush. I use this stuff called semi-chrome, all right? And it's like a polishing compound, and it's really nice to have around the shop too, but it works really well at buffing out metals. That's all these four corner pieces needed, all right? That was simple. Those go on the top lid. Now, for the doors, whatever you want to call these, the keepers with latches, door latches, I guess, all right? These are pretty rusty, not horrible, but they definitely need some attention. To clean those up, I just did what Gerstner does on their videos. I used a wire brush, all right? And basically, I just took a Dremel tool with a wire brush mounted to it, all right? And you can use this for the few pieces that are remaining on the box. I use this too because it fits in, it's small enough to get right up against the, right up to the wood without hurting the wood, all right? But basically, all I did was buff these out. A little time consuming, all right? But that's all I did to clean that up. Finally, the trick to cleaning up these knobs for the drawers, all right, they came out nice. And the old screws, I didn't have to replace any screws, but they were kind of tired looking. So you all probably have what I would call a mini lathe in your house. And it's called your electric drill. All right, let's adjust this a little bit. All right, so basically, all I do for that is I chuck up each knob individually and take a piece of emery cloth, like 400 paper. You might have to start with 400. You can go up to 800 if you're really going for the shine here, right? But let me get that out of the way so we can see just a little bit better, okay? And basically, all we're gonna do is use our drill as a little lathe. A little faster than that. And just buff them up like that, and they came out great. And I did the same thing for that whole bag of screws, all right? These tiny little screws, I cleaned them all up. So now the hardware's good to go. The box is outside right now drying from the first coat of the semi-gloss. Tomorrow we'll sand that down and give it another coat. And the big purchase now is I'm going to buy the felt from Gerstner. I've done my research. I know way too much about felt, more than I ever wanted to know about felt, okay? You know, you're looking for pool table felt, thin. And the pool table companies, of course, want to sell you 9 feet. Don't need 9 feet. So it's a little pricey, but we're going to go, since this is an authentic restoration, we're going to go with the Gerstner felt, right from them, $50 for the roll of it. And then I've got to decide what type of glue I want to use. They sell their Woo glue. It's a little complicated. You have to put a bag of it in 160-degree water to melt it. And not sure if I'm going to do that or just find a water-soluble glue, but that's the trick. If you ever make a mistake or want to refelt these, you got to have water soluble glue. So you just put water on it, and in 5 minutes it pulls right off. As you could see with this box, that wasn't the case. Back in the 80s, had a wooden boat, and everything I had was marine quality. So God only knows what glue I put that felt down with. It was tough to get out. So we're going to do it the right way. We're either going to buy their Woo glue, or we're going to end up with the some sort of water soluble glue. So I'll check into that too. All right. Hope that was informative for all you guys restoring a Gerstner box.